Welcome to the Investor's Guide to Joy, episode numero uno. So, hey everyone, my name is Paul Graham. I wanted to give a quick overview of the time that I'll go through in this episode of why it is and what it is, because it's a very heartfelt share, and it's not the typical exciting, vibrant type podcast, because it really comes from the heart and it's reflecting on my intention of doing this. The concept comes in of changing your life by 1 degree in each episode. Planes and ships, if they were to change course over time, they would be a different destination. Same thing for your life. So as you learn and gather different facts, different perspectives, and different ways to live life, it's then to say you can never unlearn some of this information, of which would then change your life by 1 degree. And over a period of course of time, listening to these episodes with the insight from accredited investors, your life would be exponentially different than what it is today in this moment. And not from the sense of consumption, but from the sense of understanding where people have been and where they're going, to then follow a similar path or the same path, to take action, to give themselves permission to live the life they want to live. One other thing I want to mention before we dive directly into this episode is the concept of a fish climbs a tree, something I'm very passionate about and something I wrote a blog post about in my Substack and included in the book I'm releasing of The Investor's Guide to Joy. It talks about how a fish climbs a tree. That's cannot be unseen. And the fish climbs a tree because he finds a way or makes a way to climb that tree, right? He also has unwavering faith that he can, will, and should, right? And so if he has any doubt in either of those categories, it's then an opportunity for growth. And so for myself, I've recognized that I have the resources, the skills, and the ability to execute and climb that tree as a fish. I also have unwavering faith that it is possible and I will be able to do it because of my skills, resources, as well as my personal faith that guides me through seemingly unknowing, difficult things that would just be odd to individuals to see a fish climbing a tree. So this is my first episode. I really poured my heart into it because it's really the intention of all this, right? It's helping me along the path and it's also helping others. More importantly for me, it's actually inviting people along the journey, growing together, changing our lives by 1 degree in the smallest moments to live a better life, give a better experience, and create a better world. So thanks so much for listening. Here's the first episode of The Investor's Guide to Joy, solo show with me, Paul Graham. Hey everyone, my name is Paul Graham, and this is the Investor's Guide to Joy, the podcast where I talk to accredited investors about their experience of mindset, lifestyle, and perspective as they become accredited investors. Now, the accredited investor threshold is $200,000 a year in income as a single individual, or $300,000 as a married couple. Or you could also have $1 million net worth, of which does not include your primary residence. Now, there are also professional criteria that can be gained through the Series 65, Series 7, Series 82, being a GP in a company selling securities, or a family office that qualifies as accredited investor, or investments in a private fund. Now, these are going to be edge cases, but are still going to be individuals that I'll have on the show because they have a different perspective fundamentally than I believe most of the population. Making $200,000 a year as an individual is an accomplishment in a lot of ways, right? I'll look at the statistics of what those individuals are, but it doesn't even matter. You make a lot of money. Amazing. You now have golden handcuffs, right? And so the point of this show is to help you understand how to live the life you're currently living if you are an accredited investor, or for those of you who think that, man, I really want to make that $1 million net worth besides my primary residence, then go for it, right? That's something that is part of my journey, and it's been a good one. But I've learned a lot of things along the way. And the perspective shifts I've had, thankfully, because of individuals, are things that I want to share. It's important to start off with who I am. My name is Paul Graham. No, not the computer scientist, Y Combinator, Harvard MBA graduate, although some of those things are similar. I was born in Denver, Colorado, and moved to Austin, Texas in 2019. I found fulfillment, peace, and joy in the things that I've been doing. And I'll share what those things are, why that's happened, and maybe it'll resonate with you as well. In some ways, this is really a podcast to my former self, where a number of times I felt stuck, yet really empowered. I knew I was meant for more. I was anxious about my future, successful, completing a number of different things, changing careers, making money, yes, but there were things that were lacking. And so this guide to joy is actually an ironic piece because there's really not a guide to get to joy. Joy is actually within you. It's something that's expressed and felt and uncovered. And it's uncovered by understanding yourself more and doing the things that bring you joy, because by doing things that bring you joy, you have then more joy. This podcast is also an ode to my late brother, who passed away at the age of 47 with a battle of alcohol abuse. Vodka became an outsource as he struggled during his career to do the things that he felt he truly could, yet constant companies or situations prevented him from doing that. And so that feeling of stuck and not feeling of capability makes us trapped within ourselves, desire for control, and those control mechanisms can sometimes lead to outreaches and addictions to soothe themselves. Now, the individuals you're going to hear and what we're going to talk about in each show are going to be people who have reached the accredited status and again are sharing mindset, lifestyle, and perspective pieces of where they're at now and things they're looking forward to and doing or things they did prior to. It'll help resonate with individuals who are on the path to becoming an accredited investor, as well as those who are currently accredited investors. My end goal for this entire experience is really to educate and inform. There are things that I need constant reminders of. Growing up, I wanted to be a millionaire by age 30. And it was at all costs. I was willing to work myself to the absolute bone until I reached that sort of status or had a family, because then I would focus on that and care about that. The issue is that your heart posture doesn't change when you reach different levels, it magnifies. And so having the ability to have these pattern interrupters now and focusing on what actually matters to you today and change, right? So tithing when you have $10 to your name and keeping that heart posture as you have $1 million to your name is more important and beneficial for your growth than it would be as you go through to reach some arbitrary status that gives you the ability to invest in different investments. Just for you to say that you're a generous person. But the individual who has been generous across their entire lifetime, and the individual who's just doing it is different. And we'll go through explaining and sharing why that is and how that is for a different perspective that I've always felt. I always felt that I was better than the plans that God or other individuals might have for me. Why? Because I had an Excel spreadsheet and I had my mind. I was egotistically confident in the capabilities and the impact and generosity that I would have. But in all reality, when I chip away the pieces that truly aren't me to leave the true authentic me, I find myself going back to my childhood where I desired to raise money for different catastrophic events that happened in Hurricane Katrina or 9/11 and other things as well. And so losing myself along this path has been a fascinating endeavor, but I then uncover again who I was as a child. And I now live my life as best as I can as that childlike individual, what I call a 10-year-old with a credit card, something I've implemented in my short-term rentals. And by golly, it is absolutely exciting. Boats are fun. Cars are fun. Travel is fun. And so by doing more things that bring joy, it's not just spending money, right? Or having things that involve money. Volleyball is fun. Being in, on, drinking water, around water, fun. So this is my journey, of which is mainly outlined in the preface of the book, The Investor's Guide to Joy, which I'll be slowly releasing. It's an exciting yet terrifying first episode because I'm talking into a computer and microphone, really just looking at myself. Sometimes I look at my former self, and sometimes I look at my current self. There's different levels of excitement and being terrified in each. The best part about this is that we're doing this together. It's a growth path, but it's not a growth path to joy because, again, joy lives within us. It's a growth path to be joyful and do the things that are for us, that are beneficial to us. It's giving ourselves permission to go after the things that we truly want to go after, not waiting for some arbitrary cash flow number or situation to come true. Not worried about the individuals of what they'll think about us or how they'll feel or what they'll say or the decisions that we make that we know with an unwavering intention that's made for us, right? Unwavering intention. So it's the guide to joy. And really, in some ways, it should be the continuous guide to being joyful. Thanks for listening. And we're going to have fun. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Time's the one thing that we don't get back in this life. And I truly hope that this episode changed your life by 1 degree. Right now, starting out, the best thing you can do to help is share feedback to me directly, as well as leaving a 5-star review. Feedback's encouraged to understand where and how we need to change kind of this plane, right? As we continue to change our lives by 1 degree and the types of guests and individuals, we have on, the questions I ask. Welcome the feedback to have and live a better life.